When the earth comes alive again in the spring, the fiddlehead fronds emerge from their pod. The stalk and heads of the fern are delicious wild edible. This is one of the most popular spring wild foods. It can even be found sometimes in restaurants and even supermarkets. Fiddleheads are the furled fronds of the ostrich fern. Say that 5 times fast. There is a very small collection window for these fiddleheads. Within 2 to 4 weeks, these fiddleheads will become fully formed ferns, and at this point they will be no longer an edible food. One of the distinguishing features of fiddleheads is the papery covering over the fern when it's young. Other species of ferns that are inedible have mossy covering. This is a good example of an inedible fern species. As you can see, it's covered with a mossy covering instead of that papery covering the ostrich fern has. Fiddleheads often grow in little pods, where there are like 7 to 9 different fiddleheads emerging from one point. I like to take 2 or 3 fiddleheads from each pod. That way they can be harvested without doing permanent damage to the population. Another distinguishing characteristic of the fiddlehead is the U-shaped groove on the inside of the stem. Only fiddlehead ferns have this curve. Most people like to collect and consume the top of the fiddlehead, but I like to collect the whole stalk. The stalk itself tastes like a green bean. After collecting a great deal of fiddleheads, it was now time to go home and cook dinner. To cook the fiddleheads, I put them in boiling water for about 15 minutes. You're gonna need a big pot for this. As you can see, I barely can fit the fiddleheads in there. If you just harvested the heads themselves and not the stalk, you'd probably be fine with this size pot. Now I drain the fiddleheads and get ready to cook them over the stovetop. You might want to give them another wash after you've drained them, just because the water's a little brackish. In a seasoned pan, I put my fiddleheads in and cook them for about 5 minutes. This gives them a nice fatty taste to them. I also add some salt for a more flavorful taste. Now the fiddleheads are fully cooked and ready to eat. They make a great side vegetable in place of broccoli or green beans.